Russian fighter jets flying around the city of Homs. Moscow said it was targeting ISIL fighters in and around the central Syrian city. President Vladimir Putin said he was committed to helping his country's longtime ally defeat the group.
We will support the Syrian army only in its legitimate fight specifically against terrorist groups. Secondly, the support will be from the air without participation in ground operations. And third, such support will be limited in time as long as the Syrian army is on offensive.
The airstrike started just one day after U.S. and Russian military leaders agreed to hold so-called deconfliction talks to make sure neither side fired on the other by mistake as they both go after ISIL. But instead of talks, what the U.S. got on Wednesday was a verbal notice 1 hour before the Russian jets took off. The defense secretary was not pleased.
Fighting ISIL without pursuing a parallel political transition only risks escalating the civil war in Syria, and with it, the very extremism and instability that Moscow claims to be concerned about and aspire to fighting. So this approach, that approach, is tantamount, as I said then, to pouring gasoline on the fire.
But Carter said he wasn't surprised, given the Russians' recent buildup of helicopters, fighter jets, and troops at the airbase in Latakia. The Obama administration has long suspected Russia of doing so to help President Bashar al-Assad win a long-running civil war. At the United Nations, the Secretary of State warned Russia not to use ISIL as an excuse to keep al-Assad in power.
Assad has rarely chosen himself to fight ISIL. As the terrorists made inroads throughout large swaths of Syria and Iraq, raping, enslaving, and murdering civilians along the way, the Syrian regime didn't try to stop them. Instead, it focused all of its military power on moderate opposition groups who are fighting for a voice in Syria.
It's not clear what it will do if future Russian airstrikes go not after ISIL fighters, but instead after the fighters opposed to Bashar al-Assad. Rosiland, Al Jazeera.